The pain and sorrow left us all alone. Tomorrow's hard to swallow.
Oh my gosh, he just got Busta Rhymes on us. Homeboy went from just already impressive, switching up cadences and rhythms. We're not even talking about the literary art here that he is using and the elements in the video. There's so much here. What in the unicorn farts just happened? Oh, that just took a whole nother level. Oh, dang. Oh my gosh. Hey beautiful people, what's up? Welcome to the ultimate world music reaction channel, all about music and psychology. I cannot wait to dive into this video with you today. It's me, Rosalie. I'm so glad you stopped by. We've got lots of awesome stuff to talk about today. Today, we are going to check out a band I've been meaning to explore again. Falling in Reverse. I've listened to one of their songs so far, Zombified, and to be honest, at first I was hesitant. I didn't know what to expect. The title was like, what's gonna happen? And as soon as the music started playing, I was not only intrigued with their musical abilities, but the content of their lyrics. Woo! Today, I want to check out Watch the World Burn. This song was put out 3 weeks ago, over 12 million views. Make sure to subscribe. Today's video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. I'll tell you more about them in a second. Falling in Reverse is a rock band from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm excited to check out this song. One of the things I love about the titles that they give their songs, from what I've seen so far, is that it's either really intense, catchy, and really intriguing. It's almost this idea of that they're not afraid to talk about heavy stuff and provocative things and things that we really need to talk about in a time where it could feel like we live in a cancel culture climate.
There's absolutely nothing to enjoy anymore. But because there's nothing, you can just enjoy nothing.
I feel it takes a lot of courage, but it's also a necessity to talk about some real things and not to shy away from speaking up and speaking out against being brainwashed, against being zombified, but instead thinking for ourselves, standing up. We all want access to that type of freedom. And that is why you need to check out Atlas VPN. They've got a big deal going on right now, $1.83 per month, plus 3 extra months and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Not only is it the most affordable VPN program, but there's so much more. They were created by top cybersecurity specialists. They allow you to access content from all around the world, meaning if you want to watch your favorite show and you're abroad, no problem. If you want your Google searches and your online activity to be private and secure, they've got you. You can save money when you're shopping online. Atlas VPN allows you to access content from around the world, which is perfect for this channel. You're able to watch all kinds of videos from wherever in the world you are. Atlas VPN stops ads and malicious links, top-level security, and you're able to protect an unlimited amount of devices. So check out the big deal they have going on right now, $1.83 per month plus 3 extra months and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Check out the link and more information in the description and in the link below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and here we go. Falling in Reverse, Watch the World Burn.
Yeah, I got voices in my head again, tread carefully, and I don't medicate, it helps me temporarily. I got problems, I got issues, yeah, apparently.
Hold up, I'ma rewind, don't worry. Does he rap? Is this? Hold on. Band members, Ronnie Radke, lead vocals. That's him, right? Same guy singing Zombified. Is he rapping? Does he rap? The heck? Oh snap, this is gonna be good. I knew it. Okay, we'll talk about the lyrics after. Oh, snapperoo. Ooh, here we go. Pilot's passed out.
I got voices in my head again, tread carefully, and I don't medicate, it helps me temporarily. I got problems, I got issues, yeah, apparently. Trauma that I'm burying, I think I need some therapy. I battled depression, I'm back with a message. I'm asking the question that if you hate me, why you acting obsessive? I'm past the point of no return, by being passive aggressive. I'll brandish a weapon, teach all you motherfuckers a lesson. Yeah. I actually battle my demons and shadows and women, the deep and the creep in the shallows and lost. Gotta admit that I'm living the life that I've always wanted, but it comes to the cost. Yeah. They're licking the jar, they're fixing to rip me apart. I'm swimming with sharks, I'm lifting the bar, I'm lifting the end of the stars. I like I shot up a trainer, they mix with some red and started a battle, but bitch, I'm a stop me, not even a little bit. Nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. Picking my words when you pick it apart. Tripping on nothing, just get in the car. Ripping and ripping.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. You guys, I was not ready for this. I was like, I know it's going to be good because Zombify was off the charts and they set that bar so hard with their cinematography and the lyrics and their musical abilities. So I knew it was going to be good. And, you know, got like 12 million views. But I did not know that he can rap. And not only can this kid rap, I know I call them kids when they're like my age or older than me, I don't know. He can rap. Like he's switching and the rhythms he's rapping at and the cadences and the beat of this track is phenomenal. But it's awesome as he's rapping and as he's switching up the rhythm and the beat and the speed and the flow of the rhymes. Shoo! Now you can even hear some of that rasp of his rock voice, and that is what I love. The vibe I'm getting here, not in the sense of the same. Again, I'm using comparison and contrast as a form of reference to communicate. But the vibe I'm getting here from a level is Linkin Park. I love Linkin Park. I don't know as much as some of you fans out there, but to me, they are like up here, right? To me, I feel like they are a quality band that makes good music. And so this type of art, the performance, the cinematography, the work, the rap, and we'll keep going, is like top notch. There's probably other groups that I could like group them with just to show you what I'm talking about. But I mean like A level. Let's go. I'm starting over. Hakuna Matata. I love that almost winding clock vibe.
Yeah, I got voices in my head again. Tread carefully, and I don't medicate, it helps me temporarily. I got problems, I got issues, yeah, apparently. Trauma that I'm burying, I think I need some therapy. I battled depression, I'm back with a message. I'm asking the question that if you hate me, why you acting obsessive? I'm past the point of no return by being passive aggressive. I'll brandish a weapon, teach all you motherfuckers a lesson. Yeah. I actually battle my demons and shadows, and swimming the deep and the creep in the shallows and lost. Gotta admit that I'm living the life that I've always wanted when it comes to the cause. Yeah. They're licking the jar for fixing to rip me apart. I'm swimming with sharks, I'm lifting the bar, I'm lifting the end of the stars. I'm like I shot up a adrenaline mixed with some Ritalin. Started a battle, but bitch, I'm gonna finish it. Think you can stop me, not even a little bit. Nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. Picking my words when you pick it apart. Tripping on nothing, just get in the car. Ripping and ripping and sticking the mark. I'm tipping the charts. I got enemies trying to get rid of me. Evil tendencies are fucking with me mentally. I got people that don't like me in the industry. I can feel your energy, you were not a friend of me. Cause I have been to places that you never wanna go. Yeah, I got dirt on people, but they act like I don't know. Yeah, I can do some damage, but I'll never rock the boat. All it takes is one post with some fun like dominoes. You'll never get rid of me, too many enemies whipping my imagery. You know my history, it ain't a mystery. Put every enemy out of their misery. Somebody send me some positive energy. I'm about to go dark, I'm about to go dizzy. Into the darkness, into infinity. Shut you motherfuckers up. Listening? Stacking every little pretty penny that I'm getting, and I'm never giving in to anybody. Always winning, never kidding when I die. I'm taking everybody with me. You're never gonna get me, cause you never see it simple. Yeah, my motherfucking God, you're a light yawn. I'm a top on, the vibe's wrong, it's my on. I'm killing syllables of the letter of fillable. I'm a lyrical, typical super villain. I'm venomous, and I'm never gonna stop until they put me on top of the list. I can't control the monster any longer that's inside. The pain and sorrow left us solo. Now tomorrow's hard to swallow.
I can't, you guys. I can't. I'm sitting here with my mouth open. Thank God there's no flies around right now. Oh my gosh. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'll go back a bit. Don't worry. There's so much. I don't even want to talk about the lyrics right now, but he's dropping bombs of truth. Like I said before, that's what I loved about Zombified. He's not afraid to talk about some serious stuff, provocative but truthful. Dang, we won't even talk about that right now. We go deep, so we're talking music, we're talking psychology. We'll do all of that in a minute when we look at the lyrics. The cinematography of this is on a whole nother level, and I don't want to say too much. I just want to experience it, then we'll talk. He just got Busta Rhymes on us. Homeboy went from just already impressive, switching up cadences and rhythms. We're not even talking about the literary art here that he is using the language, the English language in this case, to convey his message, not just simple rhymes, but blah, blah, blah. We're not even going to go there yet. And now homeboy goes Busta Rhymes on us. Oh my word. And then the elements in the video, there's so much here. Let me go back. Oh my goodness.
You'll never get rid of me, too many enemies whipping my imagery. You know my history, it ain't a mystery. Put every enemy out of their misery. Somebody send me some positive energy. I'm about to go dark, I'm about to go dizzy. Into the darkness, into infinity. Shut you motherfuckers up. Listening? Stacking every little pretty penny that I'm getting, and I'm never giving in to anybody. Always winning, never kidding. When I die, I'm taking everybody with me. You're never gonna get me, cause you never see a simple. Yeah, my motherfucking God, you're a light gone. I'm a time bomb, the vibe's wrong, it's my fault. I'm killing syllables of the letter of fillable. I'm a lyrical, typical super villain. I'm venomous, and I'm never gonna stop until they put me on top of the list. I can't control the monster any longer that's inside. The pain and sorrow left us solo. No tomorrows hard to swallow. Death is calling, so I'm crawling. Tightrope walking, now I'm falling down. Like missiles falling from the sky. Come and save us. Pain and sorrow.
Let me see that again. Why? How does he do this? How does he take it from deep in substance to so skilled to cinematography, almost Avengers level? You know, almost some of those references, and then he brings in comedy. Let me go back. Tightrope walking, where he's on the tightrope. Let me go back to that part.
Tightrope walking, now I'm falling down. Like missiles falling from the sky. Come and save us. Pain and sorrow left us solo. Here today, but gone tomorrow. The pain inside is the fuel that drives this flesh and bone through blood-red skies. The death-defying, hypnotizing. One day you're gonna figure out that everything they taught you was a lie. Watch the world burn.
Well, what just happened? What in the unicorn farts just happened? Oh, that just took a whole nother level. Oh, dang. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, I'm like, my brain is on overload right now. It's a good thing y'all can't like see into my brain. The neurons are like shortage. Oh, snap. He went dark there. Oh my gosh. Oof. Yeah, I was even hesitant to use the word provocative in the beginning when I talked about zombified and just the feeling I get from them, because I thought more topics of substance, heavy things that need to be addressed. But I feel like provocative is the right word here. I could see this pissing some people off. But, and I'm gonna piss people off for saying this too. Some of the things he's doing or saying here, it's very provocative, but I think I know what they're trying to say, or at least I have my interpretation. That's the thing with art. Let me slow down. I'm trying to process. How do they keep doing this? The cinematography here is off the charts. From that airplane, the pilots passed out or dead, to him, we'll talk about the lyrics in a second, rapping, like I said earlier, rhythmically on point, cadence is crazy, literary art just getting better and better, him showcasing what he can do. You almost have to watch it repeatedly to pick up on all these little things, because what he was saying and the way he was rapping, so skilled, and then picking up the pace, going so fast, like I said, made me think of Busta Rhymes. And then to go into that rock, the heavy, heavy rock, into the cinematography and the content of what he's saying and perhaps what he's trying to convey. And so the video at first was very much action movie, right? Airplane that's been hijacked, airplane crash, falling out of the airplane, very much action movie. Cinematography, amazing. Then you had him up there on stage with these giant banner flags, almost dictator vibe. I got a bit of that Hunger Game vibe. I got a bit of this, even that feeling that I got when I watched The Warning with their song, oh, come on, Rosalie, think of it, Disciple. And it had this vibe that it reminded me of The Warning, Disciple, in regards to this dictator vibe and this idea of getting an army to follow and listen to you, the masses, trying to control the masses. We've seen that in other music videos. We've seen that in movies. Obviously, we know that from world history, right? Dictators and Hitler, that vibe of a dictator standing there with his banners, crest, right? Controlling the masses, speaking to the crowd, and soldiers galore in perfect formation, doing his bidding. Then, what else was it? Then it suddenly got very spiritual, right? With these demonic nuns, with him sitting across from what could have looked like Satan, typing away. I mean, just a lot of facets to the music video. The element of fire in the end, talking about Disney and Darth Vader, and going very much superhero, villain, Avengers vibe, to then have laser beams coming out of his eyes, which I feel, wasn't there something like that in Zombified? So maybe a little bit of that cross-reference, which was also interesting because at one point people were on their phones almost as if they're being brainwashed or in a trance. And that to me was a little reference to Zombify, to me. To then have him with his laser eyes burning everybody up, destroying everything, the world burning, and that being interesting because there's these religious figures, the cross, the priest, these demonic nuns, right? Everything's going up in flames. And that is interesting because he's talking about fear and people breaking free and burning up this, what looked like a religious institution. And I think this idea of speaking against the fear that is invoked by certain religions, aka the idea of fire, brimstone, and hell, and now burning up this institution that sometimes scares people into those things. So I feel like very provocative, but interesting. And that's why I could see how on one hand it's like, well, this is heavy. This went dark and I didn't even know how to feel. The lyrics say, I got voices in my head again. Tread carefully. I don't medicate. It helps me temporarily. I got problems. I got issues. Yeah, apparently. Trauma that I'm burying. I think I need some therapy. Wrapping all that and talking about some of those real issues, to me, it makes me think of some of those rappers who are really not afraid to talk about mental health and medication and issues. Ren and F, some of those big guys I've been exploring who really talk about some of that. And so here, this idea of I don't medicate, it helps me temporarily. And I'm interpreting it subjectively, right? This is not necessarily what they meant. You may hear different things, so comment away, let me know. But I like that this is being addressed because while medication has its place, for sure, if we're not careful, sometimes if some are too quick to revert to that, even some professionals, some doctors and psychologists who want to be too quick to tap into that. And it is just a temporary help. Sometimes it really is just a band-aid and we need to look a little deeper into the underlying issues. And he's talking about problems and trauma, burying that. So really addressing mental health and well-being, psychological well-being, mental health, emotional health, and talking about the need for therapy. Makes me think of an FN therapy session. And not that it's the same in any case, but just seeing those reference points of artists coming out more and more now who are not afraid to speak up, not afraid to provoke, not afraid to address heavy and deep things. And I think that's relatable by many, and I think I could see many people liking it for that reason. I battle depression. I'm back with a message. I'm asking the question that if you hate me, why are you acting obsessive? Also interesting because all of those words, we're all about music and psychology, as you know, all of those words are something you can find when we're talking mental health and therapy and healing. Trauma, obsession, hate, medication. And that too is an interesting question. If you hate someone so much, right, you can't stand them, why do we obsess about it, right? I thought you can't stand me. I thought you don't want to have anything to do with me, yet you're obsessing about me, intruding into my life. I've heard in the past it said that love is not the opposite of hate, but the absence of love, the absence of these emotions is the opposite, because hate is another strong emotion just as much as love is. And so sometimes when we obsess about things, be it within ourselves or outside, it's not so much because we hate it, but because we are relating to it. We're trying to relate to it. We're trying to connect. And sometimes it's good to talk about those things and dive deeper. Where is this obsession coming from? It would be easy on the outside to say, oh, I just hate it. I don't like it. But let's be honest, sometimes the things we claim to hate, we actually like, and we keep going back to it because it gives us this fix of endorphins and of dopamine, and it becomes this addiction. You find that in abusive relationships, this desire for that fix, because you're so used to the abuse, say from the narcissist, say from someone that's hurting you, or from your own unhealthy patterns, you go back to that, and it takes a lot of courage and self-awareness and healing to say, wait a minute, I don't need to keep going back to this toxic thing to get my fix. I can find healthier ways to cope and to find joy and pleasure and peace. But we're getting a little deeper here. But it's really just mental health topics to me right now. Past the point of no return, F being passive aggressive, another psychological word. I'll brandish a weapon, teach all you MFers a lesson. I actually battle my demons and shadows. See, and this is interesting too, because it later shows these demonic nuns and burning up this religious institution. I'm getting this vibe here of saying, I have these issues, this is what I struggle with, but I'm dealing with it. I'm tackling these demons and shadows. And I think while we are not made to be alone, we were created for relationship, it's nice to have other people to help us. I think sometimes if all we do, and I've said this differently in other videos, if all we do is just look externally, there's a place for that. But if that's all we do, and we're not healing from the inside out, something's missing. Meaning if I just look to a therapist, a counselor, a pastor, everybody else to adjust, to make me feel reassured and calm and at peace and accepted and loved, but I'm not actually doing the work from the inside out, it will never be enough. They swim in the deep, they creep in the shallows, I'm lost. I gotta admit, I'm living the life I've always wanted, but it comes at a cost. See, I wonder if he's addressing even his life as an artist in the music industry. He's living his dream, but it comes at a cost. And I've said something like that before. Ren too. I know I'm referring to those geniuses again, but they too talk about this idea of the expectations of the fans, of the audience, of the crowd, of this battle in the music industry, not wanting to succumb to the corruption and that crap that goes on in Hollywood and the like, but at the same time aware that this is what they dreamed of, right? There's even a saying, a scripture that goes, to whom much has been given, much is required. To whom much has been given, much is required. When you have a responsibility, let's use this channel as an example. I have an audience of a certain amount, and I have a responsibility. I would make myself guilty if I, having the opportunity to speak to thousands daily, now spit lies and encourage you guys to do harmful things. I should be held accountable if I did that. I have a responsibility to speak truth in love, to be cautious, to be wise. And we live in a day and age where it's very easy to reach many people at once due to social media. It's a blessing and a curse. And you'll have those who have millions of followers who might not be cheering their fans on to do the right thing, to heal, to grow, to choose life, and to make good choices. Yet you have people that'll just follow and like and comment, OMG, and they're living vicariously through these celebrities without questioning. Hold up, what do you stand for? What morals are you basing your life on? What are you doing with your life? Is this something I can really agree and stand by? Is that something that I would do if I was in the same position? So we have a responsibility when we've been given things. That goes for big and small circles. If you don't have a single follower on social media, but you have children, you have friends, you have a job, even if you're not a manager, you have a responsibility for your life and the impact and the choices you make. That battle, as someone so big who has a lot of listeners, to go, I dreamed of this, but it comes at a cost, right? Licking their chops, fixing to rip me apart, swimming with the sharks, lifting the bar, lifting it into the stars. How brilliant is that? I'm lifting the bar as he's rapping and spitting these bars and just running crazy with his cadences. So brilliant to integrate words like that, fitting to what you're doing in real time, but also literally lifting the bar. To me, that sounds like when you're raising a standard. Maybe when you're calling people to something higher. The expression bar none, right? Better than anything else. I'm like a shot of adrenaline mixed with some Ritalin. Now, adrenaline, we know we get that when you're jumping out of a plane, for example, as he is in a music video. Ritalin, however, Ritalin, I hope I'm saying it right, is a substance that also stimulates the mind and the body in adults. And children, it can calm down. It's usually used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in children. Nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. To me, that makes me think a little bit about zombified, right? This idea of cancel culture and sensitivity and everybody being, politically correct and eggshells and such. And don't get me wrong, it is helpful when you have those who say, be careful what you say, be careful how you talk about things. We need both, and we need the rebels and those who are not afraid to speak up. But there's also the need for those who say, hey, cálmate, you have to be considerate of people's feelings. How does this make this person feel? It's not kind to say this. It's not okay to use this word. there's the need for both. And I think everything in life boils down to balance. Ripping and ripping, I'm sticking the mark. You see that? That rap, those rhymes here, I'm tipping the charts. That was dope too. Because I got enemies trying to get rid of me. Evil tendencies are effing with me mentally. I got people that don't like me in the industry. I can feel your energy. You're not a friend to me. So interesting. Enemy, not a friend to me. I got dirt on people. They act like I don't know. And because he's in the end burning up this religious industry, I wonder if he's not only referring to the music industry, but perhaps even religious circles. We know that there's plenty of institutions, religious, of all kinds of religions, where there's a lot of corruption, where in the name of God, horrific things were done. We know this from human history. It's happening in real time, where things are being covered up, or a lot of manipulation occurs. Unfortunately, because we live in a broken world, we'll find that everywhere. It's just more disgusting to me when it's done in the name of God and under a facade of love. That's when it's, I think, even more blatantly crazy, because it's one thing when you know that something is evil and wicked and it's in plain sight, and then they do something evil and it's like, well, it's still not okay, but what do we expect? But it's a whole nother spiel if you have a group of people, an institution or someone, a leader that people look up to, that they listen to, who's now using their power to scare people into obedience or into following. And I think that is something we do find in that context at times, where the idea of hell, of doom, of repent, and those things were unfortunately used by some, if not many, to scare people. And I even read, interestingly enough, that just as much as we all deal with death anxiety and our existential search in different ways. Some people, they look for that adrenaline rush, right? They try to defy death anxieties. Others, they deny it. They don't even recognize that's what's going on. And then you have those who look for comfort in, say, religion. And I think there's a place for that if done in the right way. But then you have those who might be dealing with their existential fears, their search for what is the meaning of life. And they do it, and they might not look for youth and beauty as some do, but they might look for power and success to feel like their life had meaning. And you can gain power over people when you scare them. And so I think sometimes the fault of certain religions is that some people, some leaders who now have the ear of a group of people, they have an audience. If not careful, they will use that to interpret ancient scriptures, historical text, verses for their own benefit, or they will scare people into obedience, into paying money, into following their teachings, and it gives them this type of sense of power, which may be their way of dealing with their death anxieties. Because now, what better way to exist than if you're beautiful and powerful and successful, right? You feel like you've made it. I'm talking a lot about the substance of the lyrics and what I feel he's addressing here. But even the art of his rap and the word plays here, the various literary art elements he integrates here, from the rhymes, history, mystery, misery, to the word plays of enemy or not a friend to me. Using an alliteration here, Darth, Disney, pretty, penny, that I'm getting. I'm never giving in to anybody, always winning. Never kidding, when I die, I'm taking everybody with me. You're never gonna get me because you'll never see it simply. And the vibe's wrong. Is this mic on? Sheesh. I mean, when it came to the rap and the rhyme and those literary words, he's not playing. I'm killing the syllables with a loaded refillable. Yo! As I'm telling you, as we can see in real time how he's rhyming and using alliterations and just using various literary art integrated into his rap, not to mention rhythmically rapping so fast, his bars, his cadences. Now he's even talking about the syllables and rhyming that with refillable. I mean, yee! That's good. I'm a lyrical, typical supervillain. I'm venomous. I'm never going to stop until they put me on top of the list. I can't control the monster any longer that's inside. And so, see, that to me goes back to the beginning when he's talking about his internal struggles and fighting those demons. Fit with the music video and these demonic nuns and that darkness. And it went really dark from a psychological level, just to be personal. I didn't know how to take that. At first, I'm like, yeah, right? But then in the end, that switch, and because I grew up in a religious context, there's also those emotions that will subjectively be evoked in me where I'm like, is this ridiculing? Because there are people of faith who have good intentions, who mean well, who really love God, who are trying to do right. Should they all just be burned up, right? I mean, it's tricky because, like I said earlier, balance. There's a need to call out corrupt institutions and corrupt theologies and teachings. But at the same time, you can't, there's a German saying, maybe it's even in English as well, you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? You got to throw away the bad, keep the good. So subjectively, there will be those emotions evoked in me where I'm like, whoa, this just went dark. This is intense. Is this maybe the other extreme where we're trying to fight corrupt wickedness in the industry and the lies of certain religions and false teachings and the fear mongering that occurs? Is the answer to that the other extreme of now burning everybody, being a villain, right? Laser eyes. Now, obviously, this is art. This is music. This is a music video. It's fiction to a degree. But I want to be realistic, right? As we battle one extreme, sometimes that the question that must be asked is, okay, is the answer to go to the other extreme now? And pain and sorrow left us hollow, no tomorrow's hard to swallow. Talk about death anxiety, talk about existential fears, no tomorrow, hard to swallow. That is true. People who think about and spend time processing mortality and then often look to faith for comfort and the afterlife and heaven and more, often doing so because it's calming, it gives you peace. Death is calling, so appalling. Tightrope walking, now I'm falling down. Like missiles falling from the sky, come and save us. The pain and sorrow left us hollow. Here today, gone tomorrow. Talk about dealing with death anxiety and existential fears. Come on. First he was falling out of the plane, now he's like levitating, hypnotizing. One day you're going to figure out that everything they taught you was a lie. And here's the thing, that was being said and sung, and that was also cool, by the way, to go from rap and to that rock and the singing. And I wasn't even talking about the musical arrangement here. I mean, that too is just awesome. The drums, the electric guitar, all these elements to make this an epic performance. That too is interesting because was everything you were taught really a lie? That's the tricky thing, right? He's burning up the church, burning up the priest, burning up all the people. He's the villain now, destroying everything. But when you come to a point where you're trying to counter one extreme, the industry, corruption, maybe the crap that some religions are teaching, when you try to address the hypocrisy within that, and you try to call all of that out, but now you're levitating as said villain to destroy it all. By doing so, and he even said it in the lyrics, I'm a god, right? You're now claiming that you're superior and that your judgment on those who used to cast judgment on everything else, you're now claiming that your judgment is accurate. By telling someone everything they were taught is a lie, you claim that what you're saying is the truth, right? If I say this is a microphone, you say it's not. It in this context can't both be true. There are situations where two things can coexist, where two things can be true. But then there's things where not both can be true. And if a person says to another, everything you were taught was a lie, they are by default exclaiming that that statement is true. Truth by definition excludes. And if I say that this is a lie, I believe that that's the truth, that it's a lie. And so it gets tricky because now it's like, how do you know, right? Yes, this is definitely, to me at least, talking about death and mortality and the industry and internal struggles. But who are we to say all of that is a lie, right? Just as much as you can't prove God, for example, speaking of faith, since that was a big part of the video, with scientific measures, just because you can't measure him, which in my opinion would make him pretty small if we could empirically measure him with mathematics, in the same sense, just because you can't prove it for humans to comprehend mentally, does not mean that is not true, right? There are things that are perhaps possibly out of our grasp that we haven't been able to measure or measure yet. And just because we can't do that doesn't mean it's not true. And then there are things that, aka the idea of a God, of an energy, of something greater than us, is so grand that if we were to be able to measure it, it would kind of make it pretty small again, because now it's comprehensible by our finite mind. So I think just to kind of be real, we're all about real talk, real reactions. Let's be fair here. To claim that everything someone was taught is a lie would imply that you know the truth. But to be fair, I like looking at both sides, balance. There is a lot of interesting theology out there and a lot of things that have been done by various religions that have led to fear. And that's what he talks about here. The fear is what keeps you alive. So, I mean, psychologically so profound, this song, you guys. If we're thinking death anxiety and existential fears, you can see it all throughout, at least to me, this concept of mortality and that tightrope, and now saying fear is what keeps you alive. People trying to defy fear, that adrenaline rush we seek, or we deny death and our death anxieties by looking to faith. All we focus on is the idea of heaven. Everyone's dealing with it differently, but fear is what keeps us alive. So in a way, fear is harmful, but in a way, fear can also keep us alive, right? If I'm at the edge of a cliff and I'm scared, it might give me a level of caution and respect for this situation that I then take better measures. Break the effing chains, take back your life. And that to me ties back to the beginning when he talks about fighting his demons. The fear is what keeps you insane. So interesting. On one hand, it keeps you alive. On one hand, it keeps you insane, which is really interesting because I feel like fear does operate like that. Like I said, sometimes it can help us and sometimes it can just drive us crazy. And that goes for various philosophies, religions, theologies. Fear is what keeps us going, right? If we're afraid of hell or death or punishment or whatever, the theology or worldview is, keeps us going, keeps us alive, but it's also making us crazy. I'm interpreting this as this call to break against systems, perhaps, that want to keep us stuck. Perhaps a call to take responsibility for our healing and our growth, and calling out systems, industries, religions that are corrupt, that keep people bound. I'm sure I missed things. I'm not going to look at it again now just for the sake of time, but the level of substance lyrically, his skill when it came to rap, the composition and the music of the track, the cinematography of the video, there's so many elements to break apart. It was intense. It was very interesting. This band is growing on me. They're wild. This was, I feel like, even wilder than Zombified. It's interesting because I thought, okay, I have a feeling what might be happening. And nope, I was surprised again. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to check out Atlas VPN. Special big deal going on right now. $1.83 a month plus 3 extra months and 30-day money-back guarantee. Links attached and in the description below. I'm so glad you stopped by, you guys. As always, like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Ayo!